Good day everyone, I am Richelle Mumar from BEd 3A and I'm going to discuss about the innovative and interactive teaching strategies. But before I'll present to you the teaching strategies, let us first know or understand if what is teaching strategy. Ano kaya ang teaching strategy? So, teaching strategy refers to the wisdom of selecting teaching approach, teaching method, techniques, and activities in order to achieve teaching objectives. So, yung teaching strategy, it is like a plan on how we will teach by selecting the appropriate approach, the methods and techniques, and the activities. So the criteria of teaching strategy is it involves planning, organizing, and implementing of teaching method, techniques, and activity. So the teaching strategy must match with the selected teaching approach, and it should be congruent on our teaching methods as well as the techniques and activity that we are going to use. And the teaching strategy also concerns with long-term teaching objectives. Okay. Now let's find out what are those innovative and interactive teaching strategies that will promote effective instruction and will engage the learners. The first teaching strategy that I will introduce is the guided discovery teaching. So guided discovery teaching, it is the teacher plan or the teacher here plan the learning process and provide enough guidance to make sure learning takes place. So students here construct the abstraction using the teacher guidance, and questioning is an integral part in guided discovery lesson. So in guided discovery teaching, the teacher here develops a series of logically designed questions to be given to the learners. And then, the learners work through the question in sequence and they will lead or the student will answer the question and that will lead to the next question. Then, eventually, the students will come to realize a predetermined concept, and the teacher acknowledges when the correct concepts are discovered. So the guided discovery, it is an innovative and an interactive teaching strategy since it involves questioning, and through this, it motivates learners and it encourages participation. So the next teaching strategy is the demonstration. So demonstration, it is an accurate portrayal of a procedure, techniques, or operation. So in demonstration, or also known as a direct method of instruction. So it is the show and tell method. So the teacher here simply shows the students how a thing is done and explain it as he or she demonstrate. There are 5 types of demonstration. First is the instructor, on where instructor here shows and tell. And then the next one is the participant volunteer. In participant volunteer, so there is a volunteer who will demonstrate and will discuss. The third is full participation. In full participation, all learners are required to demonstrate and one or all will discuss. Number 4 is job instruction training. In job instruction training, instructor here demonstrate a task and the learner will explain and demonstrate the task. Then, the instructor will provide feedback based on the performance of the learners. And the 5th one is behavior modeling. So in behavior modeling, instructor will introduce the topic and models effective and ineffective behavior. Then learners will discuss the behavior and demonstrate it themselves. So, for an effective demonstration, it is necessary that the teacher mention the do's and don'ts of process for emphasis and clarity. It is important that a teacher demonstrate a process and he or the teacher caution students on step of a skill where students are often mistaken or which are most often missed. So after the teacher will demonstrate, the students are given the opportunity to also demonstrate the process or the skills. But students should not be expected to demonstrate the process or the skills immediately on their own after the teacher has shown it. So this has to be done gradually and carefully, especially if the activity or the task is complex or medyo mahirap siyang gawin. Very role of teacher in the demonstration method of teaching is that the teacher need to give more opportunity for practice for skill mastery, and then she will also, or the teacher also, assess to determine skill mastery by all students. So it goes without saying that at all times. And while students practice the newly learned skill, teacher must also be visibly supervising students while they practice for mastery. The demonstration method of teaching, it gives more opportunity for students to practice for skill mastery. It fosters experiential learning wherein a student is actively involved in the process. Hands-on learning, or formerly known as experiential education. So, hands-on learning reflects a teaching philosophy that promotes learning by doing. The strategy allows children to practice guided tactile learning in which they absorb knowledge not only by listening but by experiencing. So, generally speaking, hands-on learning is learning through experience. So, a student here handled in EPP subject or in teaching EPP, we will let the student handle materials, equipment, and instrument in real time, and then they will manipulate it. So it is obtaining the skills, knowledge, and competencies that are necessary, and it is through working in the hands-on way, and it is presumed to extend a more thrilling and a realistic experience of the content. So one of the benefits of hands-on learning is that environment or the students will get feel for the materials and equipment that is commonly used in the workplace of the course. So this is particularly good if the students is working with equipment and tools, and one of the main reason for many accident in the workplace comes from equipment and tools misuse. So through hands-on learning, student will know how to properly use the tools and equipment, and knowing how to properly handle equipment will increases their safety, or the safety of using tools and equipment. So hands-on learning is one of the innovative in teaching or interactive teaching strategies that we could utilize. So number 4 is the cooperative learning. So what is cooperative learning? So cooperative learning, students here work as a team in learning academic content and skills to address social and human relation goals and objectives. So there are different cooperative learning methods. First is student team achievement division. So the STAD. So this is a heterogeneous team using devices to master the academic materials through tutoring, quizzing one another, and carrying team discussion. Or it is like peer tutoring method. And next is the team games tournament. In team games tournament, So this teaching strategy uses the same themes, instructional format, and worksheet as STUD, but the students play an academic game in weekly tournaments instead of quizzes. Another one of strategies to employ in cooperative learning is jigsaw. So this is a strategy wherein each member of a team works on a specific material, but with the member on the other team working with the same material. So after the individual work on their respective material, they will return to their home team and teach other team what they have learned. So that is the jigsaw. Latter day is the learning together. So this is a strategy where students will let them work in a heterogeneous group and then complete a single group product or task. So they will share ideas and help each other before asking the teachers. And the teacher, the role here of the teacher is to praise and reward the group based on group performance. So another teaching strategy is the project method or the project-based learning. So this is a strategy where learners acquired knowledge through planning and execution of practical project. So students here applying course knowledge to produce something, or they're often paired with cooperative learning. Since in project-based learning, it includes of group work or theme project on where they could design or create something, like for example, piece of equipment, a product or a computer code, multimedia presentation, an artistic or literary work, a website, a research study, or even service learning. So another teaching strategies is that we could utilize resource person and community materials. So what is resource person? So person, they are the expert who contribute information and opinion to participants in a learning situation. So they are frequently are used to conduct educational activities but may also be helpful to a committee or program planning stage. So using local environmental resources is or can also support your teaching. So in your local environment, you also have access to a range of natural resources. The outside environment can be seen as a place to collect resources, but it can also be used as an extension of your classroom. Another innovative and interactive teaching strategies that we could employ is the field trips, home visits, and community works. Or it is the internships, assistantships, community service, or shadowing. So in work, field trips are recognized as important moment on learning. So a shared social experience that provides opportunity to students to encounter and explore novel things in an authentic setting. So hindi lang sa classroom nangyayari yung teaching and learning process. It could also be outside. And through field trips, home visit, and community works, student will be exposed in a real setting and they will also be engaged. So it is important to recognize that learning outcomes from field trips can range from cognitive to affective outcomes. So among the main potential outcomes is being shown from various research. So it states that field trips, students here gathered new experience and can increase interest and engagement in science regardless of prior interest in a topic. State by Richelle 2005 and Bondaroff 2011. Another research also showed the result that it is an affective gain such as more positive feeling towards a topic. And then field trips also are experiences that can be recalled and useful long after a visit. That's all about my report about innovative and interactive teaching strategies, and I hope you learned something from my report.